All right, welcome to the Positive Podcast. I really love that intro music.
It's so great.
It's amazing.
80s, baby.
Hey, love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm a little cold today and you're a little hot today, but that's good to go. All right, very nice.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
So good.
Yeah?
So far, so good.
So good. It is the Positive Podcast. So good.
So far, so good.
We all had Red Bulls before this episode. So good.
Anyway, the book we read was amazing.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Unreasonable Hospitality.
I actually love that book. It was awesome. And it's nice to read something about a different industry. And this is your kind of like growing up industry.
Yeah. I started serving at Joe Dogs when I was 18.
Joe Dogs, yes. Okay.
That was really fun.
All right, yeah.
And then I lasted about like 2 years, and then I transitioned over to the keg, and I was like, oh, this is so much easier. Lots of systems in place. You didn't have to like work till 4 a.m. Yeah, it just was like a great transition. And I feel like they seriously have unreasonable hospitality. Like they go above and beyond with wowing their customers.
Tell me about Billy Miner Pie. I feel like I escaped from fat camp actually, but like Billy Miner Pie, one of the things I love about the keg, every time me and Wendy go there, it's my birthday, we're celebrating something, like
date night.
It's date night, we're celebrating Tuesday. And we always so how does that work at the keg, just out of curiosity? Because I always end up getting a free Billy Miner.
Doesn't matter, right? We're just trained to ask, are you out for a special occasion? Are you celebrating anything? No questions asked. You just tell the manager and they will comp that for you.
Really? What if you have like a shitty manager?
That's a thing. Like I only worked with amazing people. They have high standards on hiring. And
really?
like all of my managers were like friends and mentors, and they were great too.
Really, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta say too, though, and I hope this doesn't get anybody in trouble, but I remember you guys hooked me up with you and your bro.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is this not
that's
allowed?
Fine. You cannot. Okay.
Is it okay? Well, because it was my brother-in-law's birthday, and I wanted a Billy Miner Pie, and you guys got me a Billy Miner Pie from there, like, because you can buy it from the kitchen and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah, they like offered their staff like, you're going camping for the weekend, do you want to buy these steaks? They're $10 for 6.
Is that, you know what? I would probably just get a part-time job there just for fun, just for some of those benefits.
Yeah, it was a great job, honestly. I kind of miss it. I want to go back.
Yeah, well, your bro still works there, right? Sometimes,
full-time firefighter and still working at the keg.
And why does it, because it's fun?
The real reason? I don't know. It's social, right? Like,
yeah, it's social, right?
They do make great money. Like, I miss making $300 a night.
Yeah.
And seeing my friends and having a drink at the bar and eating a steak while I'm chatting with them. Like, what's not to love?
That's pretty cool. I remember going out to restaurants sometimes. And I honestly think like good servers are so good at multitasking. I think they make great people that work in a business as well, too. Because you have to have so many different things going on. And I know Wendy would get upset with me sometimes because I'd be asking servers for their numbers, just being like,
I'm not hitting on you.
I'm not hitting on you, but I think you'd be a great employee. Like you obviously have a lot going on. And, but I will say this, the one thing that always makes me nervous is when a waiter or waitress doesn't write down my order.
Oh, yeah. I can't do that.
No?
I don't know.
I guess there's some that have really good, like...
Has that happened to you at the keg?
Oh, at the keg? Yeah, it has happened at the keg, but they got the order right. So it's like, I just can't tell whether you're lazy or you like have a great like memory. And at the keg, great memory. They always seem to do it. But you walk into like one of those diner drive-ins and dives and you're just like, I don't think you're getting this order right. Like, I think you're really going to screw it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I always had to write it down. But anyway, I could just like relate to that book so many times. What was your takeaway? Because you own a business, and I remember you were reading it, and you were texting me, you're like, oh my gosh, we have to implement this. Oh my gosh, we're doing this.
I know. I'm a nut, and I feel sorry for everybody that works with me because as soon as I read a book, I get super jazzed up about it. But what I loved about that is just like the whole unreasonableness is like, how do you create experiences for people? And I think far too often I've been guilty of trying to put people in a system. Because if you and a lot of things we learn on social media and through business is like, if you put people in a system, you can scale the business. And then the bigger the business is, the more money you can make, right? But then that kind of takes away from exactly what Will Guidara from 11 Masson Park was talking about, where it's like every single situation is an experience. And how do you do that, right? Like, I thought that was so cool.
But it's so nice, like, working somewhere where there are systems in place. Because the keg, whether you notice it or not, there are systems, but they have those, like, little, like, wow moments. And I think that you've implemented that at your company, because, like, at Joe Dogs, there's not a lot of systems.
There was just a lot of not to do's.
So
don't do this, but you can do that.
But like, I have to speak to being like, oh my gosh, I don't have to like ask someone what to do. Like, I know what to do.
Right.
But then you pick up on those little moments, and I love applying that at work too now. Like, when you like hear something, you're like, oh, that's so cool. Let me just go run that by Rod.
Yeah. Well, I like that. You're good at that. Like, I know, because I've seen ones where you're like, oh my God, this person's having a baby. You know what I mean? Or, oh my gosh, this person just broke up with their boyfriend. Right? Like, I'm like, you know, but like, it's caring and seeing somebody. And I think that's what, like, an Unreasonable Hospitality, like, they became the #1 restaurant in the world, right? In the world.
Yeah.
That was wild. And like, some of the things that they did, I thought were magical. Like, I wrote down some things because I thought they were just super cool.
Yeah.
Like, when you talk about systems, like the one that I loved was, tell me if you think this is creepy, because I thought it was cool. I remember sharing this with somebody, and they're like, that's creepy. I was like, so when you make a reservation there, the maitre d' would Google you. They'd put a picture of you basically in the back and find out a whole bunch of information from you. So it's kind of like when you walk in, say like, oh, they'd be like, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Hogbin, how are you? I'm like, I've never met you before. How did you know it was me?
Yeah.
Like, you instantly felt welcome, and they kind of like knew who you were right from the get-go.
Do you know what the crazy thing is, Bri?
What?
You did that. Like, when I first started in 2017, I remember, like, your clients would come in and you had this little, like, notepad thing where you could, like, put the letters on and you would say, welcome so-and-so.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, you have always done those things. You probably just didn't realize you were doing it until you read the book.
Well, yeah, you know, you forget, right? I think I always, and it's sometimes you, and I think sometimes you can think what other people are doing is always better than what you're doing. You know, the comparison is the thief of joy, they say, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I also thought was really neat was, so they Googled the person, but they took it as an opportunity to build a relationship by confirming the reservation.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right? So they're just like, hey, Chelsea, who's coming to dinner with you tonight? You know, are you still coming tonight? Yep. Oh, yep. Me and Ollie are coming. Oh, great. What are you guys celebrating? Anything? Nope. We just got a sitter. Oh, who's your? You know, and they would just build rapport at 11 Masson Parks, and they would look for ideas to make it really, really special.
Yeah, I love that. And we were just at a dental conference recently, and someone read the book, and she was saying how if there's like a snowstorm, they go out and they brush all the windows off, right? Of like the elderly people and the seniors, and you're just like, oh my goodness, that is so special. And
so small. Yeah. What was the line I wrote down, which I love? Because I think sometimes in different industries, we get caught up on big, but big's not better. And they're saying luxury is a price point, but hospitality is just kind of like a little thing, right? And it's like that. The other one was what they would do is, because they're downtown New York City, they would feed the meter.
Yeah.
Like if you went and parked and you only get 30, 45 minutes, they would go and feed the meter for you. And it's like, what does that cost you? 25 cents and like a little forethought?
Yeah.
And they would do that for you. And you'd be like, wow, such little moments of magic.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And you never know what people are going through. Like, Hugh spoke about how his mom passed. And him and his dad went out and they like shut the restaurant down. Like they closed. Yeah, you know what I mean? But he was just like, they went above and beyond. They were so warm and welcoming. And I'll never forget like that moment. Mom just passed and that's where you are. You remember that restaurant, you remember that service. So it's just, I don't know, it makes you think and you're like, how can I apply that same experience to our clients?
Yeah, I like that too. And I think, and as a business owner, it reminds me sometimes like that, that's like your marketing, really, when you think about it, right? Sometimes you think about this, like some things are expensive and may not justify a cost, but the reality is like that story lives forever and that moment lasts forever and that feeling lasts forever, right? I like what he says too, where he's got Will, he has a 95-5 rule. Remember that?
Yes,
one?
I do remember.
Where he goes, 95% of your budget and your system should be like tight.
Yeah.
Ironclad, like keg systems, running it tight. 5%, go fucking bananas.
Yep.
Right? Like 5%, do whatever you want to do, right?
I feel like that's like good for everyday life. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
fair,
just like
yeah.
your budget, have it down, like,
Yeah.
yeah, to the
Yeah.
science, and then make sure you have fun.
Yeah.
5%.
5%. Can we up it to 10? Like,
I don't know.
more
I'm
fun.
good with 5, but like, I know
Yeah.
you probably need 10.
Yeah, maybe, right. But no, but it's true though. I really, really like that too. They did such cool stuff though, and I love this for I think for it just reimagined business for me because the little things that you take for granted every day, like what they did with water.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that one? So I guess like you go into a restaurant and it's a huge restaurant. And they would say, what, sparkling, flat? Like, do you want sparkling, flat, bubbly? I'm sure in a fancy restaurant, they have multiple different types. And then they would do like a baseball sign behind the back. They'd be like, oh, you like sparkling? And it's like, I don't know, like a 2 or a 3. And then some other water dude comes up from behind and pours the water. And then you're sitting there being like, oh my God, how did you know what water I wanted?
Right.
But just tiny little things like that I
Yeah,
thought were super neat.
yeah, it's true. And like even the keg, I remember we were never supposed to like call out the meal or like what their steak was, like sirloin, medium rare. You just like know what seat they're sitting in, and then you write down their order. So it just looks like it's
so you
down
don't
to
walk
a
and say.
science. Yeah.
Oh. You know what? I never noticed that at the keg, but that's actually like pretty smooth.
It's like classy, right?
Yeah, because you're like, no, not only did you not write down my order, but you clearly remembered it as well. See where I'm sitting. Like that is kind of magical.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I like too, what they said about customer service, and I'm curious if you had anything like this for the keg, because you have, like, you've got the most Google reviews out of anybody I've seen in the company, right? And it's amazing. So I wonder if you did get some of that customer service skills from the keg.
I'm sure everything adds up to what I am today, right? Like with like a little bit of dental, a little bit of serving, like I'm sure it all adds.
So this was really cool, and I love this. Let me see if I can find it in my notes here. Oh, I wrote down, luxury means giving more. Hospitality means being more thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, love that. The one here was for, did I write it down here? Let's see. You know what?
I have one that this made me think of you because, I don't know, like you're a pretty fun person to work for and you're easygoing, and it's like, make the charitable assumption, assume the best in people. And it's like if we're running late or like, I don't know, you don't ever give any of us a hard time. And I think it's because, I don't know, like we don't take advantage of you, but so you just trust that it's always going to work out, right? And I like
what he said there too, because he was saying like instead of somebody coming in late, I like the charitable thing. It's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of going, where the hell were you? Right? Were you okay? Oh, you're okay. Good. Now where were? No, I'm just kidding.
But it's like a respect thing back and forth.
I think so. You give what you want on that. What the service thing I like too, where he said you never argue with somebody on how the steak is cooked, right? So basically, like if you're arguing with someone, you're already in the wrong. So they would basically say like, oh, it's a medium rare. Kind of reminds me of this really cool episode I saw of like the sitcom called Bulges. Subtle plug there on Bulges. Put that on there. There's a great steak scene in that. That is friggin' hilarious. That part, medium rare, rare. That extra well. That was awesome. Anyways.
How many times did you watch that episode?
I don't know. This is really good. So anyways, I digress. But basically, if someone says like, you're at the world's best restaurant and they clearly know how to do a friggin' medium rare steak, right? Mm-hmm. And you're one of the world's best, servers, and I bring it to Chelsea and you say, this isn't cooked right. You don't argue. Right. Because it's all their perception. So I'm very sorry, sir. Ma'am, were you expecting it to be a little, is it more well or less well? It doesn't matter that they're wrong.
It's true.
You just don't argue.
It's true. Yeah. It's either new meal or comped or whatever they want. Like there's just always going to be a solution. And that's why there's a wait list on a Monday night. Like,
so it's like, so do they, because it's basically like, Chelsea, if Brian ordered medium rare, you delivered medium rare, and he's just an idiot,
doesn't matter.
We still take care of it. Mm-hmm. Isn't that so cool?
It
like
is.
How often do I find like you wrestle with right?
I know.
Like I'm right. I quoted you an interest rate and I'm right.
But like right or happy?
It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter, right? So I thought that was cool. So I guess if we want to be the world's best company, you just there's no point in arguing with it, right? Exactly. We just got to get like a stock of Billy Miner pies, give them out to everybody with a mortgage.
No, pizza.
Oh yeah, we do pizza too. Pizza but Billy Miner, God, jeez, are you guys hungry? Okay, let's talk about finance here. All right, let's talk about. Oh yeah. Well, speaking about unreasonable hospitality, what do you think? Like, is there anything you do that you go above and beyond, like in the personal finance world? Because I think the finance world is changing a ton right now.
Trying to think of like, yeah, like I think that we've perfected our like system and our process, right? I love the closing gifts. I love like the quarterly like gifts. I love I'll say, can you reach out to so and so? They really want to speak to you, and you're not just reaching, like you're sending them a video.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, it's totally.
Yeah, and then like there's always going to be like cards, and those are sincere and genuine, right? Like they're not just thanks for calling, right? Like I try to make it more personal too.
Well, I think you're good at too, like even going to somebody's place, right? Like you've gone to someone's place to pick up documents.
Yeah.
Right? Like in this day and age when like we're not even talking about fax machines anymore. We're talking about like everybody takes a picture of it and sends it, and you've done that before.
I honestly like he was good with technology. He's just like a senior. Just wanted a friend.
Did you have other intentions, Chelsea? This is getting weird.
No, but he wanted a friend, right? Like he's solo, lives alone, right?
Okay, well, okay, this is like okay, maybe we need to put in some better HR policies, clearly.
No, but he was so kind. And it's just like...
Sorry, I apologize. He offered me something to eat and wine. Okay, sorry.
You're not wrong. But I didn't. No eating or drinking.
Oh,
but
boy.
It's just like, it took 5 minutes extra for me to stop downtown to get the documents. Okay, I'll see you. And then go back and sign. And I mean, I've done it, but I actually, like, that one wasn't so bad. It's the people, like, where you don't have any rapport with them.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it. I don't love it. But
yeah, I think... Now I know why he kept calling and saying, I have another document for you. You forgot my T4 from 1972.
Anyway, he's a happy client.
Yeah. So, but what I would say to that, I think, like, when you are in rapport with somebody, they'll take your advice or give advice, right? Which I think is, you have a lot of success when you're doing, a financial plan or mortgages and you're helping somebody because you'll do the extra mile. And if you do the extra mile, then they're going to listen, right? And then how many times, I think sometimes people miss the boat on both sides because, like, if I'm not in rapport, if I just say, listen, I can't come pick up your documents, we're both missing out. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not going to get the good advice that I probably have, right? Because most, really good financial people have good advice. So you're not going to get the good advice I have, and then I'm probably not going to get your business, right? And then you might end up going down to the person down the street who tells you to declare bankruptcy.
Right, I know.
Another episode.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And from that, I got a call from just another person, and he said, oh, this person, you went over, you helped them, I need a mortgage. Like, it's just, I don't know, Burlington's small too, everyone talks, right?
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, another mortgage came out of it from just being kind and positive.
Love nice people. Love nice people. So he's got pockets, right? Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's what I loved about that book too, is like, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you can apply unreasonable hospitality everywhere. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean spending a ton of money. It just means really listening, being thoughtful, right? And sort of finding out what's important to somebody.
Absolutely.
So they can feel seen and heard, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. So, I had something else in here too, but I kind of feel like talking about our kids in restaurants now.
Oh gosh.
Have you ever had like we take Lila out to eat a lot.
Yeah.
Do you take Isaac out to eat?
No, because my son goes to bed super early still. So he's like in bed asleep by 7:30.
They do have dinner service at 5. Like you can go earlier.
But I'm not hungry at 5. No, he's gone a couple times. Like honestly, probably like 5 times. That's it, to a restaurant.
Yeah.
And that's like Granny's birthday, Grandpa's birthday, Todd's birthday. Like it's just usually a celebration. It's a treat. He's not a great eater there either.
No? So you just feel like you're wasting money by taking him?
Well, he's just like, I'll have fries. And I'm like,
I think that's a kid thing. Okay. Like, I think that's why they have the kids menu that says chicken fingers and fries across the top.
I know, but it's just like, I know that he's not having a good meal because he's so picky when he's there. And he doesn't eat the other stuff. It's just that.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then he's a wanderer. Kind of like his mom.
Oh, really? Like, sort of like... Yeah,
he just wants to, like, check out the restaurant.
Do you let him go to the bathroom by himself?
He'll go with dad.
With dad? Yeah. I just started doing this because I'm a helicopter dad, like so I'll take Lila out for breakfast every Saturday morning. We like to pick a different breakfast spot and go. And I just like, it's probably over the past like 6 months. And I'm sure other parents have done this earlier, but I'm like terrified that there's a creep in the bathroom that's going to be staring at my daughter, right? But she takes forever in the bathroom, I think. And Wendy always says she just wants alone time. But I'm like, literally, I've had the waitress come up to me twice now during breakfast, be like, "Sir, would you like me to go check on your daughter in the ladies' room?" I'm like, "No, I'm sure she'll be out soon."
I do remember, like, I was with her and I took her, right? And she was just singing. And I'm like, "Lila, are you good in there?" And she's just singing. So
she likes her
to
time.
sing.
Yeah,
she likes her time.
You know? But she does love going out to eat, though. Lila loves, and I think, because I think we're making it kind of like family time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Special. So when we go to eat, it's there. And it's kind of like, I remember one time we took her out for a New Year's dinner.
Aww.
And it's setting out the expectations. We end up saying, okay, it was one of the nicer dinners we went to. It was the old like Radius downtown Hamilton. And they had like a little dinner. And it was 6 o'clock seating. We got the early seating. And we were like, okay, Lila, this is serious. You're not going to be on your iPad because we want to have some conversation. Get all your sillies out before we go inside.
That's a good
and then right before we go into the restaurant, she's like, "Woo!" And just like starts screaming and shaking. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Just get my sillies out."
Aww.
So
yeah,
I think it does teach them though, like some
that's what
discipline.
Like, Ollie and I said, we're probably not doing him a favor, not going out more. Yeah, it's just like the easy route for us. Have him like eat at home and go to bed. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's not bad actually. He just wanders. He just likes to check out like what's going on, and yeah.
You know what? I think like because I know we were, when she was younger and we would go for dinner, we would use the phone or the iPad and be like, okay, you're crying, you're this, you're that. I'm going to distract you, so at least we can have a dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? But as we get older, like trying to teach her to be like, just be present. You don't need to be stimulated every single second.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we can actually have a conversation together.
That's cool. It'd be interesting to see them, like Isaac and Lila, at a restaurant together.
Oh my gosh. They would literally, Isaac would go, "Let's go." You know what I mean? And then they'd probably be wandering together. And then she'd say, "I got to go to the bathroom." And then who knows where they would end up, So
funny.
Cool. Well, listen, that was cool. Unreasonable Hospitality. Check it out. Read the book. And make sure you have a personal financial person that listens to you. You know what I mean? Whether it's financial planning, insurance, or mortgages, or whatever it is, takes the time to listen to your needs and make sure you listen to them, because if you guys listen to each other, you probably get a good equal exchange out of it, right?
Absolutely.
And if there's anything else you guys want on the Positive Podcast, books, personal financial tips, or parenting advice for Chelsea and I, or questions, please let us know.